Hello, my dear students of class 9. I hope you all are doing great at home and little bit of studying is there with enjoyment, I guess. So, we are covering up lesson number 10, the price of bananas. I am your literature teacher Pratik sir. So, the price of bananas by Mulk Raj Anand is a abridged version. Abridged means short version of the story is given where it presents an apparently funny situation where a businessman and has his beloved cap seized by a monkey. So it was seized means taken by a monkey and taken forcibly, and finally gets it back by offering the offending monkey a bunch of bananas. So a bunch of bananas was given to the monkey as a bait to take the cap. Though the tone of the story is light-hearted, even though the story is humorous, this author notes with sad concern. So author gives us a concern that unjust behavior of the businessman towards the poor fruit vendor who had helped him to get back his cap. The fruit vendor who was not seen, who though helped that businessman, but the businessman did not, give this fruit vendor a kind behavior. Okay, he gave a very cruel behavior to this fruit vendor, even though the fruit vendor helped the businessman to get his cap back. So I'll be reading the story. Go through with me and understand it. I was on my way from Faizabad railway station to Lucknow. So he was in Faizabad railway station and was going to where? Going to Lucknow. I had arrived at the station half an hour in advance of the time from the train's departure. So before time, he had been there. So half an hour earlier, the author or the narrator have come there, and I sat on a bench watching the monkeys frolicking. Frolicking means playing lively. Okay, the monkeys were playing on the trees and on the open platform. So on sitting on the bench, the narrator saw monkeys were playing on the platform. The monkeys descended down and then to collect half-sucked mango stones, and mango stones means the seed of the mango, and the remainders of food from the platform. So remainders means the food that was scattered on the platform. They were collecting those foods and the half-sucked mangoes. The younger monkey sat on a boughs mean branches of neem and tamarind trees, so ready to jump after any food that may be visible. So this is a picture of the platform that the narrator gives. What were the monkeys doing? And the small monkeys means the younger monkeys sat on the branches of neem and tamarind trees, and they were ready to jump at any food that they see. What happens then? Just then the train was announced by the ringing of the station bell. So it was already time and the train was about to leave the station. I concentrated on securing a seat for myself in the train. So the narrator was searching for a seat. I got a window seat overlooking the platform. So he got a window seat where he could look the platform. Some other passengers joined me in the compartment. We were all sweating from the rising heat of the summer. So it was a month of summer and they were all sweating. Several passengers were busy filling up their small earthen pitchers. This is important, mark it down. Several passengers were busy doing what? Were busy filling up their small earthen pitchers from a water pump. I was struck by the genius of a monkey in snatching away the loincloth of a pious person. Pious means a person who basically devote himself in the religious purpose. So who was taking a bath under the pump. So that pious person or the religious person was taking a bath under a pump, and a monkey stole or snatched away a loincloth of that person, pious person. A great deal of general amusement was caused by this incident. So everybody laughed at this incident, And the bather then requested the monkey to return his loincloth. So requested, mark this word, requested. So he requested the monkey to give his loincloth back. The monkey was generous. So due to his request, the monkey was kind and threw it down from the neem tree at the man's feet. While all this was going on, I noticed a gentleman come up to our compartment. He looked like a businessman. So the narrator noticed a gentleman who came up to their compartment and he looked like a businessman. Mark this, he was dressed in a white muslin dhoti, a delicate tunic and an embroidered cap on his head. So what he had, muslin dhoti, a delicate tunic and an embroidered cap on his head. Tunic is a means kurta type and an embroidered cap on his head. A porter was carrying his luggage, which included a big steel trunk, several small baskets. So what was the porter carrying? Luggage which included a big steel trunk, several small baskets and a brass jug. So mark this, steel trunk, small baskets and brass jug. The man was shouting at the porter. So the businessman was shouting at the porter to hurry up with the luggage. So see, here the picture is given of the man is very much unkind. He was seeing the porter was carrying so many luggages, even though by seeing he was not feeling sympathetic about that porter. He was telling that porter to hurry. Suddenly a monkey leapt down, means jumped down from the top of the compartment. He was sitting up on that train and snatched away the fine embroidered cap of the businessman. So what did the monkey do? Snatched the cap of the businessman. The monkey then climbed up the neem tree. What have you done, monkey? So the businessman was now angry. Businessman shouted in utter confusion. His round smug face. So what face he had? His round and smug face. Means he was very proud. Smug meaning he was very much proud of his. Means he was a very businessman, a rich man. So that is why he had a very pride in himself. So smug face was covered with perspiration. He ran towards the tree. We'll get the meaning at the back. He ran towards the tree over the pump and stood threatening the monkey. So he was threatening. Previously, what did we see? The pious man requested. But here, this businessman threatens. Okay, threatens the monkey. However, the more he shouted at the monkey, the remoter the monkey became. The more stubborn the monkey became. The monkey was not giving. It was the same monkey. So it was the same monkey who had snatched the bather's loincloth. The people on the platform were much amused by the plight of the businessman. So they were all very much enjoying the situation by the plight, means pleading of the businessman to give his cap back. He looked with a piteous and hopeless expression on his face. So the businessman was hopeless not to get his cap back from the monkey. Meanwhile, a fruit hawker had come forward, pushing his little cart. He told the Sethji, Sethji here refers to the businessman, and he was called Sethji by the fruit vendor, that he would rescue the cap. So the fruit vendor volunteered himself to help Sethji in rescuing the cap. The businessman seemed slightly relieved. So he was happy. Okay, now he's going to help me. The vendor went ahead dangling, means dangling is like this, dangling a couple of bananas. Okay, in his hand he was dangling it like this with the couple of bananas at the monkey with his right hand. He stretched out his left hand for the cap. The monkey seemed to hesitate. So the monkey was in confusion whether to take the bananas and to return the cap or not. Ow, ow, calm down, the vendor coaxed the monkey. So the vendor tempted the monkey to calm down. He lifted the bananas higher up. The monkey responded by climbing down cautiously to a branch near the vendor. So he did not fully come down. He came down to a branch near to the vendor. The whole platform became silent and waited with bated breath. So everybody was in excitement. What will happen next? For the impossible to happen. So it is impossible to give something to the monkey and get that thing which he had snatched. So that was impossible. The vendor cooked in a soft voice, "Ow, ow," to the monkey. The monkey looked this side and that, accepted the bargain. So the monkey finally accepted the bargain, finally accepted the bananas, and then give them the cap back. He took over the bananas with his right hand and released the embroidered cap, slightly crumpled with his left hand. Means slightly crushed, crumpled. If you means एक पेपर को दबोच लो तो वो क्या क्या हो जाएगा, पूरा पेपर crumpled हो जाएगा, crush हो जाएगा. So that is the thing, crumpled with his left hand. The spectators shouted in praise. The fruit vendor came and humbly offered the Sethji his cap. So he was finally given the cap back to the whom? Cap back to the businessman. "They are hungry," he said. So they disturb the passengers. So why do the monkey does all these things? Because they are hungry. "Acha," said the Sethji, and turned to go into the compartment. The vendor said, "Sethji, please give me 2 annas for the bananas which I had to offer to the monkey." So the fruit vendor asked Sethji to give him 2 annas. So the couple of bananas cost was 2 annas. And as he helped, so he was asking Sethji to give him the money for helping, as he was a vendor. And if he would have sell those couple of bananas to any person or any consumer, then what would have happened? They would have given him the money. But since he have tried to help the businessman, so he was asking the money from the businessman. 2 annas? What impudence! Means what rubbish! You're asking me 2 annas? Sethji shouted each word in disgust at the grimy fruit vendor. So grimy means he was covered in dirt. His clothes and all was covered in dirt. "Please give him the money, Sethji," the rest of the compartment said. So all the people, they were watching, they were sympathetic about what the fruit vendor has done. Somebody has helped, so you need to help him back by giving him the money. "Acha, here are 4 annas for you, potter, and an anna for you, fruit vendor." So he asked for 2 annas, and he was bargaining even with the 2 annas. He was giving an anna to the fruit vendor and the potter with 4 annas. So he was not a justful man. He was behaving in an unkind way. See what the potter says, "But I carried 2 big pieces of luggage," the potter wailed. The potter wailed means shouted. Potter was shouting, "I carried 2 big pieces of luggage. So you give me only 4 annas? Go, crook, you cheat." So crook means cheater. Crook meaning is a cheater, who is a dishonest person. Sethji thundered at the protesting potter. So Sethji was very much scowling, very much scolding that potter. The potter left. The fruit vendor persisted, but the fruit vendor did not leave. "Sethji, be just. I saved your honorable cap." So Sethji is telling, "Be just. I saved your honorable cap, Sethji. Please help me out. I saved your honorable cap." The businessman threw an anna towards him on the platform. So, see, it's so unkind that he is throwing the money on the platform. Only an anna and not even 2 annas. The guard's whistle blew. The train was about to depart. The vendor looked through the compartment window. The vendor was looking through the compartment window. "Sethji, do not rob the poor. Ja, take rest." The Sethji scowled at him. The Sethji was angrily looking at him and said, Go away." The train had begun to move. The fruit vendor first ran along with it, then got onto the footstep and clung to the window. So he was not leaving. The fruit vendor was even hanging or clunging down the window. But Sethji had returned his head away. He was looking out of the window at the goods train on the other side. So Sethji did not look. He was looking on the other side of the window. The train had passed the whole length of the platform, and frustrated vendor finally dropped off. So what did he do? Frustrated vendor means annoyed vendor finally dropped off. He was hopeless that that businessman will not give him the money, so he finally set out. Sethi turned around to all of us and began to justify himself. So Sethi was explaining the people in the compartment that what he did was right. If he did not want to help me to get my cap back, he should have not offered the monkey the bananas. Okay, so he should. Why did he help me? I did not ask him to help. So Sethi is saying, why did he help me out? I did not ask him to help. He was so ungrateful. I felt that all the other passengers had sympathy for the poor vendor. Not only the passengers, even the readers, we are also sympathetic about that poor vendor. He was poor. He had given two bananas to that monkey, and for that he has only got one anna. That is not right. He was means he would lose. Okay, he would lose his daily wage. So the whole amusing episode had ended in a bitter sense of grievance against the rich businessman. So everybody was looking not in a right manner to that businessman, because the businessman was not kind. Okay, he should have given, if he have given an anna, he could also give another anna. So that was not rightful what the businessman did. So the businessman who had been so hard to the generous hearted fruit vendor. So the fruit vendor was generous hearted, was kind hearted, because he volunteered himself to help the businessman, but the businessman was unkind. I drew a cartoon of Sethi and showed my drawing to all the other passengers except him. So he drew a cartoon, he drew a caricature mockingly. Okay, mocking means copying that man, copying that businessman. The narrator drew a cartoon of that man and showed it to everyone except that businessman. Everyone laughed, so everyone was laughing. The more we laughed, Sethi became the more uncomfortable. So Sethi was looking very uncomfortable there. Go through the word nets: frolicking, perspiration, coaxed, crumpled, anna, impudence, grimy, crook, and scowled. I'll give you the lesson exercise in the next class. Today I'll give you the answers in the PDF of the previous homework. Okay, I hope you have understood the chapter. Please go through the lines once more, then you'll be able to understand the whole story. Thank you.